Here's how you can use a window to improve your video lighting using the sun's free natural light to transform your videos looking like this to this with these tips. I've been there. All you have to light your videos with is a window, and I'm going to show you how you can get the most out of a window. For this video, every time I'm on screen like this, I'll be using a window as my main light. One of the best things about using a window as your main source of light is that it's free, and if you're just getting started recording videos, it's not that big of an investment. Actually, it's quite easy to make window lighting look really good. The items I'm listing will help improve the window light, and they can be purchased for less than $50 USD. In fact, let's take a look at some of those accessories now. You'll need some sort of video capturing device to film with, and then you'll need to place that near a window. Keep in mind that the larger the window, the more light you have control over. Next, I'll have some accessories to help you enhance and control the natural light that comes through a window. All of the items I mentioned will be linked via affiliate links in the description. The first accessory I recommend is either diffusion fabric sheets, which you can pick up for around $13, or a shower liner like this, which I was able to find at Target for about $8. Out of these two though, it's important you know that the diffusion fabric can be used more in your video work, but either the fabric or curtain will help make the sunlight less harsh on your subject. To help place the diffusion fabric or shower curtain to the window, I recommend gaffer tape. Gaffer tape is also known as gaff tape, and is helpful to do so many things in filmmaking, and when you remove it, it leaves little to no residue. You can pick up either an individual roll or multiple rolls of tape. Finally, I'll be using a reflector and something to hold it. I recommend a 5-in-1 reflector, but they also have 7-in-1s and even 9-in-1s. The reflector can be used to diffuse the light, bounce the light back, or cut the light on your subject. Reflectors can cost as little as $25, depending on which reflector you go with. You'll also need someone or something to hold the reflector. For ease of use, I'll use a light stand and an 8-clamp like so for this video. I'm filming this at noon, so this is when the sunlight is the highest in the sky and the Kelvin temperature of the light is around 5600 Kelvin. I also check my local weather reports to make sure of clouds or rain. However, living in LA, I usually don't have to worry about that. Funnily enough, right after I recorded that line about how it rarely rains in LA, it started raining, so you can check the weather report. You never really know, which is, again, another con of using a window to light your scene. Shouldn't discourage you, but just wanted to give you a little bit of humor and frustration I experienced while trying to make this video. Now you might notice that in this shot, the light is a bit too bright, and there isn't much light on this side of my face, so here's how you can fix that. The first is where your reflector or diffusion fabric / shower curtain come in. Starting with the diffusion, I'll use my gaffer tape on the top here to place it in front of the window. This helps cut the light intensity while also making the light softer. Now, the difference between hard and soft light can be seen here on my face, specifically in the shadows. Another thing is, I can also adjust my camera or smartphone to have the color temperature set to daylight, which is also 5600 Kelvin, as I mentioned earlier. I can also adjust my aperture, which is the F number here. Another tip is that you can set your camera to auto and then back to manual to learn the settings and adjust them one at a time. Again, I could go in more depth to all of these things, but this is just a simple video to help you out. Moving forward, there are a few things we can do with my 5-in-1 light reflector. As you can see, I've added what's called fill to my face by having the reflector on its white light side, opposed to the window I'm using as my key light. It's added more light to this shot, and hopefully you can see a difference. I can also flip the reflector to its darker side, which I'll do now. It will look like this and have what's called negative fill, adding more shadows and contrast to my face. What side you have the reflector on really depends on the tone you are going for in your videos. I want this video to be warm and inviting, so I'll switch to the gold side of my reflector now. I think I can add a bit more to this shot, so I'll turn on the practical lights behind me, and you can see it's a much warmer mood than before. Now that we've covered how to use some of these accessories, let's take a look at some of the pros and cons of using windows and natural lighting for your videos. Obviously, there's a limit to how much light there is in a day, so you'll need to keep that in mind when filming. Another thing you need to think of is that things can get in front of the sun and block it, like clouds, airplanes, etc. Another thing is that sunlight changes the color of the lighting depending on the time of day. So as you can see in this image, from sunrise to morning, the light has a lower Kelvin temperature, so the colors are more yellow to orange, but as we get to around morning to noon, the colors go from about 45 to 6500 Kelvin. Then, they change the Kelvin temperatures once again and are the orange to yellow color again. There's also the fact that if you can't record during the day, or if you have limited time to do so, it can be challenging / near impossible. Luckily, there is a time period early in the morning and late in the afternoon called magic hour where the lighting is really good. However, that also can be a difficult time to film. Speaking of difficulties, is that when people film near a window, they'll put their camera in the direction of the window / light and get this silhouetted look. That's not the most effective use of a window. I recommend placing your camera in front of your window, but your subject in the window's light like so. I also recommend having the window to the side of your subject and your camera pointing at them with the window to the side. This lets the light fall on yourself or whoever you're filming. I mentioned who you're filming, but you don't have to use the window for just people. Great example of silhouetting on a subject. But if I just get him to look over here, look at that, much better. When it comes to videos, there's a reason the order is lights, camera, and then action. And that's because lighting is so important, but it doesn't have to be expensive. And with the sun and the right plan to find the right time of day, you can use a window to help you create better content. Have you ever used a window's natural light in your videos before? Let me know in those comments down below. Are you ready to move on past window lighting and upgrade your setup to a more professional light? Then check out that video I have on screen now. Finally, remember, I'm Andrew Can, and if I can use a window to light my videos with the sun for free, then you can too.